All right, hello boys and girls. So this is the first day of us making our relief map. So what you need to have today is your printed out map of California and either construction paper like I have here or cardboard. This is going to make the map a little bit more sturdy. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to need to attach this map to your construction paper. You could do this with tape or you can do that with glue. I'm going to use glue. You could use a glue stick if you'd like. If you're using cardboard, this kind of glue might work better than a glue stick, but I think a glue stick will also work if you put enough. So I'm making sure that I'm getting all my edges and I'm getting the middle of the page. And then I'm going to place it in the center. Will you get an aerial view of this, my assistant? In the center of the construction paper, just like this. All right, now that we have done this, it's time to make the dough. All right, now it's time to make the dough. This is the fun part. I'm going to look at my first page of my California Relief Map instructions because it tells me the amounts that I will need. If you don't have it printed out, that's okay because this is on Schoology under Social Studies California Relief Map. So that will tell you how much, but I'm going to tell you in this video as well. So the first thing I need is 1 cup of salt. So I'm going to use my measuring cup and put in 1 cup of salt and then 2 cups of flour. So I'm going to take my flour and I'm going to put it in like this. 1 and 2. All right, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my water, and I have it measured out here, and it is going to be 3/4 cups of water, and I'm going to pour it in here. All right, assistant, will you come and look at what it looks like? Once it's like this, boys and girls, this is where it's gonna get really messy. And you're gonna take your hands and you're gonna start to mix it up until it looks like dough. You're gonna do this for a while. We'll be back once it's all mixed up. Okay, so I chose to mix this up with my hands. You could try to use a spoon if you'd like, but it's pretty sticky. So once I mixed it up, I now have dough. Kind of reminds me of Play-Doh a little bit. And when it looks like this, you can hold it all mixed in. That is when you are ready to start putting it on your map. So, assistant, if you can come closer and look at my map. I'm going to take pieces of my dough and I'm going to start just putting it on my map, just like this. And I'm going to move it along. Make sure there's no shadow. There's still a shadow. I'm going to move it with my fingers and carefully place it in the lines of the state. Now I'm going to cover the whole state with 1 layer of the dough, and then I'm going to go back and add my mountains and my valley, desert, and my coastal region by changing the height and texture of my dough. So we'll be back in a little bit and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so now I have put a flat, as flat as I can make it, layer of dough on California, and I made sure to stay in the lines as best as I could and tried to get all of the little details of the coast line. And now I need to figure out where am I going to put the mountains and where am I going to put the valley so it's a little bit lower. So I'm going to look in my hardcover social studies book on page 18. We looked at this map a lot, and it's going to tell us where the mountains are, where the valley is, where the desert is, and where the coastal region is. So I can look at this and I'm like, okay, all this whole area is going to be the mountain. So I'm going to look now at my map and I'm going to take some dough, and you can do this different ways, if however you'd like to do it. There's different ways of doing it. I'm going to take some of the dough, and I can see here that the mountains kind of go at the top, all the way at the top. So I'm going to make that part lifted up. You don't have to make it this lifted. It can be a little less lifted. It could be more lifted if you'd like. I think I'm going to make mine a little bit less lifted because this dough needs to dry and I don't want it to be too lifted. All right, and now I want to make sure that I don't go all the way to the coast because I can see here that the coast goes all the way up to the top. So I'm leaving room, but going all the way to the edge. Now I'm going to take more dough, and I could roll it maybe because I can see it kind of makes this line that goes down. So I might roll my dough, and I'm going to make the mountain region go all the way down, following the map on page 18 to help me figure out where I'm going to put the mountain region. So I'm adding. I can see it goes all the way down right to this tip right here, comparing my map to the map in the book, and I'm making the mountains lifted. Because the relief map shows when there are mountains, when there are valleys, by having it raised. Marcel talked about a globe that he has that is a relief map where it's lifted. So I'm going to carefully make sure don't go all the way to the coast right here. I need to leave room. I'm checking. All right, and then this whole area I know is going to be desert. So I'm going to make sure I leave that room. And I'm going to work. I'm going to pay close attention to this detail, all this detail. And make sure I leave room for the valley as well. Of course, this area in the middle is going to be lower than the mountains because it's the valley, the Central Valley. Alrighty, and the mountains go all the way back up to the top. And I'm going to connect it all. Alright, and I can go back and add a little bit more detail if I'd like. Maybe I want to make the coast a little bit lower, or the valley a little bit lower. And kind of fill it all in. Once I'm happy with how it looks, I'm going to leave it out to dry. And then you are done with step 1 of your relief map. Good job, guys.